Greetings from the library cave. I am Aspen Dracaena, your friendly neighborhood Ice Dragon Bookwyrm VTuber. And we're back to Final Fantasy XIV again. I'm going to try to play longer today. I know I was super tired last week. And, yeah, I try not to be super tired, but sometimes it just happens. But that's life. So, yeah. So we're gonna kind of just continue where we left off. I don't know, I feel like we hit a little bit of a stop with the Arcanist quests last time. So, maybe I'll focus more on the main story quest today. I think that's what I'm gonna do and see what happens. Maybe I can find some kind of other class quest thing. I guess they're called class quests, right? Hi, love. Okay, actually, Panda, I was just gonna message you. I would be like, oh, yeah, I'm about to stream. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yes, log in. Oh, it's congested. Oh my gosh. The server, I think it has a cold. So, I just realized, so I'm wearing this very fluffy loungewear outfit. And I forgot that when I close the door to my office, it gets really hot. So, I think I have to take the top part off. Hang on just a sec. Ah! There, that's better. Okay. So, I was talking with this guy. What was I doing last time? Leaving a good impression. Player commendations. Ah, okay. That's what that is. Luculot? Should I speak with him again? Maybe here. Meh. There's Prasha. We learned. Oh, that's right. We learned how to fight with the Chocobo last time, and I can't remember how to do that. Maybe I should talk with Luculot. Okay, so there's bird in hand, extending fences, small talk, or nothing. What is bird in hand? Okay, bird in hand. The Chocobo. I can speak very well. Okay. The Chocobo Keep, Luculot, may be far from home, but he has some matters close to his heart that he would discuss with you. Okay. Matters close to his heart. My goodness. Greetings, madam. Tell me, how goes the training for your avian mount? I could not help but notice that there is some bias towards real-life combat. All battle and no bonding makes for a less noble bird. You know what? Fair enough. I don't want my chocobo to just be a battle chocobo. I want my chocobo to be a friend. I think that's a fair enough thing to want. I see that you already have a fine residence of your own. Why not build a stable for your chocobo? Closeness leads to fondness, and there are other perks. Indeed, I could tell you of those and more, if you wish. We of Ishgard have a knack for chocobo husbandry. We have forgotten more than Gridania will ever know, I fear. Okay. One Ishgardian knack is to stable chocobos at one's residence. That makes it possible to train and feed the birds. The second knack is to keep the stable meticulously clean and picked up. Chocobos are cleanly creatures and easily distressed by slovenly housekeeping. Shall we get straight to it? Pick up every vegetable scrap littering the stable, if you please. Oh, so I'm just cleaning things up. There we go. Wait. Is there more there? Wait. No. Little creature. Pick up the veggie scraps. There we go. The veggie scraps. Okay. The veggie scraps. They're making me be a farmer again. Haven't I done that enough for one lifetime? After working on the sheep farm, like... I mean, look. I think it's good for a person's character to have a little bit of experience working on a farm. You don't have to work on a farm, like, for over a year like I did, but, you know, build some character. It's helpful. You know, teaches you a little humility. It teaches you a lot of compassion. Have you collected all the vegetable scraps? Very good. I will take those. You may take them. They are yours. You can compost them. The place is as fresh as cream. How well the chocobos look, fluffing their feathers in contentment. Yes, they're very happy. You would do well to lay in a magicked broom. You shall need to use those for proper cleaning, but that is for another time. There is more stable care than simple cleaning. Oh no. And that brings us to the thirdish guardian knack, fresh feed. I am not the aptest tutor in this craft, however. There is one that has the knack right here in Bent Branch. Okay. That is Mistress Margot, the resident botanist. She is in charge of all cultivators maintained here for the chocobos. Go to her and beg a few greens and information from her. She will not stint you on either. Okay, let's find this Margot. I think, okay, like it looks like it's actually, it says Margot, but I think it's Margot. There she is. Wah. No, I'm not trying to... Some feed for your chocobo. You've come to the right place for it. It has been a warm spring. Try the cracker root. Many birds who would otherwise go off their feet cannot resist these luscious roots. We raise them with love as well as skill. Master Luculo likes to call that a knack. I have no quarrel with it. 'Tis a joy to grow, whether it be vegetables, chocobos, or the skill in one's hands. Why not try your own hand at growing vegetables? You say you have a house. A house must have a field. Food grown with your loving care. How could your bird not thrive eating feed such as that? Mayhap we are not what we eat. Elsewise my father would be a codfish aswim in butter. But the feed certainly makes chocobos. Aye. So sensitive is their nature that you can see the effect of a particular feed as clear as day. But I have yet to tell you about the main feeds. You are sure to be fascinated. Shall we ever tire of speaking of the gishel greens? Precious, luscious plants. You can summon and train your birds with these greens, but as wonderful as gishel greens are, they are hardly unique in being attuned to specific areas of a chocobo's abilities. The art of raising a chocobo involves choosing a balance of these vegetables to feed your bird, thus creating a chocobo that is, well, just so. The best laid plans of wranglers are often frustrated by a picky eater, though. Do make sure you come to know each bird's likes and dislikes. There They are no pieces of magitech to bend to your will. But when bird and woman grow together, why, you might discover something very special indeed. Aye, and you would do well to grow your own feed. May as well fight with a pine sword to raise a chocobo without a vegetable field of your own. Visit a store to buy the seeds, and remember, love and skill, there's the knack. Oh no, now I have to plant things? I do go on, don't I? Yes. You came for a handful of feed and got an earful, but that's the way of it with us botanists. Take this fine specimen of crocca root to your sweet chocobo, and I wish you both the joy of it. Do 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 do. Okay. Chocobo? Chocobo? Chocobo, I have something for you. Is it use key item? Yes. Use. Wait. No. Give it to Chocobo. No. I want to give it to Chocobo. Pratchett! Oh, I don't know. Hang on. Oh, I have to show it to Luculot. Okay, fine. I can't feed my lovely little Pratchett Chocobo. Like, come on. Here, take it. Yeah, you. Oh, were you able to collect some Chocobo feed? Yes. Margot is never stingy with her vegetables. No, I want to give it to my Chocobo. That's so mean. As fine a crackaroot as I have ever seen. A magnificent specimen. This will make the training all the more effective, I believe. We come to the fourth knack of Chocobo husbandry, Aspen. Training. I hear Head Wrangler Keitha... Wait. I hear Head Wrangler Keitha about her work. Oh, I was trying to, like, how is that sentence structured? If there's a thought, go and speak with her. She will tell you much and more of training chocobos. Okay. Keitha. Ah, there you are. There's Keitha. Nice to see you, Venturer. Here to learn about training your bird, you say? Yes. Stable your chocobo, and you'll be able to train the sweetheart. But you need to give him a treat straight after and not a moment later. What I do is to go pick up a choice bit of feed before I get the bird into training. The results vary, as that slick ruffian at the Ebony Stalls used to say. Should I give her an accent? I feel like I should give her an accent. The results vary, as that slick ruffian at the Ebony Stalls used to say. Around here, results depend on how clean the stables are. What treats you give. I have no idea what accent I'm doing. Okay. But as long as you love your chocobo, it's hard to muck it up. Well now, you got a fine root, a cracka root, on you already. That'll work a treat, no pun intended. Go on. Start training little Leia there. What do I do with little Leia? Wait. Okay, I don't know what I did. Speak to Keitha. That was sweetly done, Venturer. You've some skill at this, I reckon. Some are made to train just that one bird, but you can handle any chocobo. Well, that's good to know, I guess. I did something right. Some venturers share a stable, you know. Might be you could care for your birds other than your own. You muck out the stables. That means you're helping raise the other venturers' birds as well as your own. Don't matter who did the mucking out, really. Those birds have been cared for, you see. That ought to hold you for a while, no pouring too much wine into a cup. You'd best return to Luculot before his Ishgardian brain case starts imagining the worst. Worst. Okay. Luculot. Sweetly done. High praise indeed from Keitha. Excellent, excellent. I have now taught you all the knacks you must needs know at this time, I believe. It is my hope that you will add a stable to your residence, and there raise a chocobo to serve as your brave mount and trusted companion. How I long to meet that bird someday. Pratchett's right there. I trust you will not disappoint me. Of course not. Pratchett's right there. You could say hello to Pratchett right now, Luke Willot. Don't ignore him. Pratchett's my friend. Complete. Chocobo raising is now available. To begin raising your trusty companion, first you must stable him. Chocobo stables can be purchased and placed outside free company and private estates. One chocobo stable can house a whole company's mounts. Ah, we do have a chocobo stable. While a chocobo is stabled, select train to increase his EXP. After the training is complete, do not forget to give the chocobo a reward for his hard work. Depending on the type of reward the bird is given, his progress may change dramatically. Continuously feeding your chocobo a snack of vibrant vegetables or fruits will cause him to grow feathers of a different color. Oh, what color? Interesting. Okay. I think we're done here. Let's go to Finland. Oh, yes. We shall go back. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of gil. La la la. All right, my lovely chocobo. All right. Lego. Oh, wrong way. Lego. Lego, Lego, la 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 la. Can you jump over it? Can you? Boing! Almost. Boing! Okay. No, I'm not joining the fate. See you later. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. Okay, that's a task. That's also a task. Kaboom. Hey, Peanut Butter Steve, how's it going? Yes. Swirgim? Oh, she's the one that unlocks the glamours. Ah, okay. Yes, enter the... Okay. Well, you know, maybe once I handle this MSQ bit, I can go back to that person and look at the glamours. Am I? Wait. Am I not? Ah. My brain. I have a brain that functions. Yes, leave the solar. Yes, leave the solar. Okay. I went the wrong way. I just assumed. I assumed it was here because I always go in here. Yes. Alright. Where... Where? Not Tataru. Okay, where is my quest here? Where is my quest? Is it over here? Oh, I remember. I've got it. It's downstairs. I was going to talk with somebody last time. I got it. Trust me, I'm actually smart sometimes. Sometimes. Alright, so I am supposed to talk... Yes. Here we go. There's Noraxia. Waking one is to investigate sinister one? Then heed well this one's words. This one is friend with a walking one from the Ash Crown Consortium. According to the friendly one, a digging one named Medrod had an encounter with a scary masked one. This masked one is most certainly a sinister one. Walking one should go and speak with digging one Medrod. Digging one is to be found at Fallgord Float in the North Shroud. Okay. So I need to go to the Black Shroud. Sure. Yes. North Shroud. All right. No, not that one. It's this one. Oh, wait. Do I have a message? No new letters. Okay. All right. Medrod. Why are you on a table, Pratchett? I don't think that's where you belong. Please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. 'Tis only a matter of time before he comes for me, just like he came for that poor woman. Medrod is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if you were to soothe him, he might remain calm enough to hold a conversation. Aha. Soothe him with an emote. You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman, one glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thal, come to claim her soul for his realm. What? You're investigating the same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure that we don't have to suffer Midrod's hysteria ever again. All right. Teamwork. That's what I wanted to... Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do to repay her for comforting me. Sure, let's go. Yay! Level up! Level up! Okay. Alright, I guess I need to speak with Aideen then. Why are they both on tables? Maybe I need to spend some time training them. They're good, yeah. Aideen has a proposal to make concerning your investigation. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Oh, that's awful. Oh, hey, Mac. How you doing? Among the local fauna, only the scalekin, known as Ziz, could inflict such wounds. That's why some folk are pointing the finger at them. I somehow doubt that the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures, and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths. Alright, let's go. Slay some Ziz. Where am I in comparison to the Ziz? Okay. Alright. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, maybe I should just ride my chocobo? That's helpful. Okay, Ziz. A balloon. A Banemite. Where's the Ziz? The Ziz is so ridiculous. Okay, that's a Ziz. Okay. Right. How do I get off my chocobo? I forgot. How do I get off my chocobo? Okay, here. Let's just... Here, wait a moment. What if I go into the fate right here? Wait. Okay. There we go. Haha, easy. Okay. Wait. Wait, where is it? What's attacking me? Oh. That is not... Oh, that's a shroud hair. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Cool. I was not trying to fight a shroud hair. I'm trying to attack Zizzes. Did I accidentally do something? Oh, Pratchett withdraws from battle. Okay. Okay. Oh, I did not mean to do that either. Okay, whatever. I have my carbuncle. Cool. Alright, let's go back. There's a lot of strange creatures over here. All right, let's see. Okay. Here we go. Back with these folk again. Hey, Dean, how are you? You've already seen the Ziz. Good work, adventurer. So, were you able to find aught to suggest that the creatures are our culprits? I don't know. Nothing? Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looks like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. He has a winged eyeball? Okay. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I'd better watch myself, eh? Heh. So somebody is destroying the faces of beautiful women. Okay. Unseemly japes aside, there is a rumor been going around. There's some as whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crap. Just a sec. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments and I'll give them a gander. Alright, some key items are used on areas rather than single targets. First, click on the item icon displayed on the duty list. Upon selecting an item, a glowing radius will appear on the ground that can be moved freely with the mouse into the desired position before executing. Okay. What about Everalt? He has information to share. There is something you should know. I have been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Medrod's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was a coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Medrod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. Okay, so throw the fire sand stick at the rock. Okay. Off we go. Nope, not that way. This way. This way. Okay. So I need to go this way. That guy is big. And that other guy is also big. I nearly gave myself a heart attack here. I walked through it and I was like, uh-oh. Oh. I don't think I'm supposed to go down there. Alright. Let's go around then. What is that? Oh, okay. Interesting. Balloons. More clay golems. Ooh. Alright. Wait, back up. Yeah, okay, so I'm supposed to throw fire sand stick. Wait, where's my fire sand stick? Fire sand stick, donde está usted? Hang on. Alright, some key items. First, click a duty list. Duty list. Where's my duty list? Duty. Key items. There we go. First, click on the item. A glowing radius will appear on the ground that can be moved freely. Some key items are used on area. First, click on the item icon. Okay. Am I doing the correct quest? Oh, investigate. Wait. No, I'm at the Rock of Rancor. Do I need to be higher up? Do I need to go to the top of this rock? Let's see. How can I... There seemed to be a way to go above, so let's try going above, I guess. My brain will figure it out at some point. No, I'm not joining a fate. Wait, what are they doing? No, no. Okay. So, when I came out of here, it looked like there's... Oh, yes, there's a way to go up. Okay. Okay. Can I get over there? Yes, I can. Okay. I think. Throw the fire sand stick at the rock. Why is this so weird? Okay. Well, I'll go back down and look at it a little bit more carefully. Because the spot was pretty obvious. Wait. Ah! Oh, okay. They're down there. And they go this way, I think. Oh my gosh. You know what? Fine. Fine. It's so easy with these fate quests. You just stand in one place when you find out where their spawn point is. Yep, spawn point. What? There we go. There we go. I love how they run away and then they come back. Okay. Alright. Cool, cool. Okay. Well, let's try to figure this weird thing out. Okay. Or should we go over to this fate first? Sing. I to winged eye. Destination. Destination. Okay. Surveying. I am surveying. You sense a hostile presence. Where is the hostile? I like how I'm just like right behind the rock. Diorite sinew. Okay. No, so let's figure out this other thing. Balloon. Okay. So, I need to go to duty quest, go to key items, and okay, what was that again? Using items on areas. Some key items are used on areas rather than single targets. First, click on the item icon displayed on the duty list. Oh, item icon displayed on the duty list. Wait. First, click. Oh, duh. Okay, here we go. First, click on that. Upon selecting the item. There we go. Okay. I got it now. Alright. Gather the lightning aspected crystals. I'm guessing they're all around here. Ah, okay. Humming crystal. What is it humming? Hum diddle-um diddle-um. Maybe it's, what should it hum? Or, what else could it hum? It's electric boogie woogie woogie. All right. I'm going that way. That way. There we go. Is it getting dark? I'd much prefer to be out of this area at night. It's rather disturbing. Walk, walky, walk, walky, walk, 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 walk. Kaboing! Okay. Where's that one go? So one thing I will say about these Final Fantasy streams, I love them, first of all, but they wear my throat out so much that, you know, I absolutely have to not stream the next day so my throat can recover. Most folk are too scared to go within 100 yalms of the Rock of Rancor. Aye, it has a name. But what's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, eh? There, have your funny crystals. Huh? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. 'Tis a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire sand stick. Oh well. Okay. Ivarot. Ivaro. A monstrous bane mite appeared, and you slew it? That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Falgord. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw? Or merely a trick of light combined with blind panic? Possibly. Okay. Alright, Midrod, it's up to you. Midrod is troubled by the dearth of new developments in the murder investigation. Sigh. There have been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I had been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time. Why does this guy's head look so small and his arms so big? But there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature for a Banamite. But you and I were mulms apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with the Banamite at the very spot you claimed to see that fiendish eyeball. Isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Hey, apple tart sounds good. Ooh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be... Gods. Of course. There must be more than one of the buggers. Ugh, it's so obvious. But then that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered. Gulp. Le gasp. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Okay. Cool. I guess I'm the expert. Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. While I burn to know the truth, some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was at the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you will want to alert the authorities. There is a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region. Okay, I accepted the quest. Search for a maiden's corpse. Oh, delightful. Carbuncle? Are you okay there, friend? The carbuncles make me think of chihuahuas a little bit. You know how they get kind of shaky and awkward? Okay. We're looking for dead bodies. I hope we find one. I really actually don't. Hope we find. That would be sad. This is kind of like, Stand By Me. Was it? So I'm having a hard time remembering. I don't think Stand By Me was a Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I don't think Stand By Me was a novel. I think it was a short story of Stephen King's. Okay, maybe I should go down. Past the Banamites. And over here? Somewhere over there. Okay. It's a little hard because these areas are like in layers. Alright, I'm gonna go back down. Because it must be underneath. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember if Stand By Me originally was a short story or a novel. I think it was a short story, though. The movie was so good, though. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, it really is a corpse. It's so sad. Poor girl. Whoa. Oh, it is an eyeball. Okay. Why is it interrupted? Okay. Ethelmare. Okay. Ethelmare. Let's go. This game is turned into, like, I don't know, like a procedural drama. Like, what? Like Law and Order or, okay. Yeah, I just realized I'm on an ad break. Let me stop before the next part. I'm gonna just hang out over here for a little bit. Okay. You know what? I will be right back. Give me a sec. Okay. Alright. I guess we shall go turn things in. Ethelmare. Okay. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? That's an interesting way to... Wait. Okay. It's been defiled in more ways than one. That's sad. Gods be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Hang on a sec. Oh, okay. Identical deaths have been reported in the central shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any, sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end none can say. The victims have all been young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them, so as to notify their next of. And this button, engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil? Or that of an organization, perhaps? Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders. Okay. Okay. Ethelmare wants you to hold on to the button. I would have you hold on to the lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Mioun. Mayhap someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. Okay. Mioun, so Gridania. Okay. New Gridania. Wait, ST? ET, okay. So, I need to go in that direction somewhere. Okay. Okay. Alright. Mother Mioun. Caroline Canopy, proprietress. Good evening to you, Aspen. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. Okay, yes, I'm American. Scones and herb tea. Not scones and herb tea. Yeah. I did not get that one from my, from human grandfather. Okay. Hand over. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. Where did you say you found this? On a dead body? Lovely. Yeah, same, Mother Mioun. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the lily sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette, over by the Etherite Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. Oh, I'm gonna have to wander around a bit, won't I? Can I? Oh, I can't go that way? Oh, yeah, that's not where I want to go. Bernadette! Hello, Bernadette! Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on. Show me what you have. Lily button. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, although I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Signglued over at the Lancers Guild. Or Gould. Signguld. Signguld? Oh, Ultima Underworld? Cool, cool, cool. The woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens on a forename basis. Alright, Signguld. Where's Signguld? Okay, I guess I'm going for a walk. Sienna! Sienna! Okay, go that way? No, not go that way. Go that way. There we go. Doodle-doo-doo. Okay. We've got stuff going on here. Places with things. Okay. Signguld. Bernadette believes that I can help you. Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. I will try to assist, never you fear, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Oh my gosh, just tell me what this is. Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gentry's ward, northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late there has been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursendel, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he could tell you a thing or two about it. Answers. We're gonna have some answers. Can I go around? No, I cannot. This is, okay. Alright, that's fine. I have directions. Oh. I guess I need to leave? No. Oh, wait, what? Can I go around another way? Yes, okay. Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. The horse is the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifting snow. Oh. There we go, Ursendel. I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray leave me to my thoughts. No. The sigil of the Dartancourt's family. How is it that you came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman? Her face? Was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. Okay. How do I... Ursendel has a confession to make regarding the mysterious murders. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the Dartancourts. During that time, or the Dartancourts, maybe? It looks like it might be French. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, and possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may have well been a kinder fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. Not that kind of queer, the other kind of queer. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her regain that which she had lost. So began the rites of rejuvenation. Oh dear. That doesn't sound good. That sounds very bad. Oops. Did not mean to do that. These rituals seemed innocent enough at the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. Oh, that's awful. I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was, but when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place, not after that nightmare I had witnessed. So it was that I left Hawke Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavored to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you at Hawke Manor, on the western edge of the central shroud. Go now. Go, and do what must be done. Oh, this is heavy. Okay, where's Hawke Manor? Where am I on this map comparatively? Okay. Oh, I'm pretty far. Yeah, I should go to... Yeah. Oh, I should float away. It is not? Oh, local time, Air time. Okay. Alright, well, I guess we'll go. Not that way, that way. Okay. Can I jump over here? Whee! La da 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 da. No, I need to go. Oh, do I need to get up there? I think I need to get up there. Okay. Let's see. I should probably climb that thing. Tree slug. Ah, it won't let me go up further. Okay. There's another one. There's another one. Hang on. That one looks promising. Yes, this one's promising. Okay. We'll go up, 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 up. And the matron's Lethe. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Sorrel Haven. Okay. We're heading somewhat in the correct direction. Halitastroper? Interesting creature. Okay. Oh, they're kind of like Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors. Ah, there it is. And there it is. There's the place we need to go. Oh, and there's a floating eye. It's probably going to attack me. Hey, floating eye. Oh, maybe not. A mana gate. All right. A new duty. Oh. Enter. Oh, is this gonna be... Oh, yeah. Join. I shall join a party of sorts. La da 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 da. See, what? Why is it that all the smiths are particularly handsome? And they're quite flashy. Like, what kind of smith is he? There's no greater thrill than striving alongside like-minded companions to overcome the deadliest of challenges. May the wisdom you gained in the Hall of the Novice serve you well on your adventures. Nothing. Da 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 da. La da 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 da. Here we go, wandering along the fields so green. I'm digging the topiary. This is kind of cool too. But what I really like there is that huge window. I think that huge, like, stained glass looking window is pretty cool. But I am wondering, what's going on here? What's going on there? Is that... Huh. Interesting. Anything down here? There's a boarded up door. Ooh. Hey, Bananas McGee. I like your name. Cool outfit, I guess. I guess for dragon people too. Cool. Yeah. Flashy outfit, dude. Oh wait, there was somebody right there. Where'd they go? They're gone. They're so gone. Should I fight an eyeball while I'm waiting? Yeah, let's fight an eyeball while we're waiting. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call those guys floating eyeballs. I mean, I guess they are, but... Am I paralyzed? Paralyzed. Okay, in general, battle, event, in general. Okay, so free company. There's tell, say, party, alliance, yell, shout, free company. Okay, interesting. Do, 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 do. If this doesn't get filled in 8 minutes, I will switch to an NPC one. I haven't tried an NPC one before, so it might be good to test that out. Maybe I should change my little friend. Minion guide. I haven't had the wolf pup for a while. Alright, independent. They're all independent. Summon! We'll have a puppy this time. Okay. Minion search. Toss him an occasional biscuit. Okay. So today the weather was actually super beautiful. The past couple of days it's been excruciating. Like, it hasn't snowed a lot, but the wind has been just brutal. And then today it was sunny, it was pretty, it was a little warmer, but you know, I mean, it's still winter. But it was lovely today. It's the kind of day, like, I don't know about you, but there are days in winter where it's so pretty outside that I feel like I should be able to walk outside without a jacket on. Which, of course, is probably a very stupid thing to do for most beings. Why did that door open? Why have you... No. No. I came over to see why. Why? Okay, no, fine. Yay! Come on. Did you go in the water, puppy? Oh, he looks like he just wants to play. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's like a corgi. Except not as corgi-ish. But close. And he has a little bandana. Like, come on. Oh, what? Is he just laying down now? Okay, wolf pup. What you doing? Maybe you could put the carbuncle. Wolf pup? Carbuncle? Wolf pup? Carbuncle? There you go. See? You can be friends. The carbuncle could be a nervous wreck. And the wolf pup could be like, oh, don't be a nervous wreck. Okay, it's been a while. So let's try again. Let's do NPCs. Sure. Register for duty. Okay. Can I unregister? Withdraw first. Okay. Registration is withdrawn. Now, let's try it with NPCs. I haven't done NPCs before, so let's just go. Commence. Okay. Let's see how this goes. It's a haunted house. So this is going to be some Countess Bathory. Okay, Hawk Manor. Hawke Manor. Okay. Okay. Why is my face right in his butt? Okay. Sealed barrier. Okay, well I guess I can't go that way. And this is to exit, right? No. Okay, so they're just following me wherever. Okay. This is actually kind of cool. Ah! Wait, where's my mouse? Ah! There we go. Wait. Why is it not letting me? This one's a little... Yeah, it is a little strange. Okay. All right. All right. So there's all the rooms and keys. So are there keys? Oh, yep. There's a key right there. Okay. Obtain a tiny key. Anything else I need? Carpet stain, carpet stain, carpet stain. I'm not so sure those are carpet stains. They look more like slugs to me. I like the vibe of this place. There's definitely a part of me that has like a little bit of an inner goth. So I vibe with this building. It's pretty cool. There's another one. Oh, an attic bat. Okay. I can't even see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let us continue, I guess. Is there anything else on the ground I should be aware of? Okay. So I can't go further that way. It's either... Oh. Let's go this way. key in here. Something I need to do. Okay. Alright, I guess. This is giving me, like, Resident Evil vibes. Oh, there we go. Some creatures. Look, I'm not gonna say that, you know, I'm happy about destroying little attic bats because, you know, I had my experience with the bat in my house last summer and, you know, they're okay. They eat insects. They're great. Bye, attic bat. Okay. Locked door. I have a key. Yes. I hope it's the correct key. Very well, then. Oh, there's a maidservant. Alright. Got her. And there's another tiny key. Alright. Key. Alright. So, where do I go from here? Let's see. Ah, there's another locked door. Do I want to... Yes? Okay. It's divan mold. And there's a treasure coffer. Okay. Is there something in here I should be alert to, like the treasure coffer? Okay. Nope, nothing about keys in here. Okay. Let's keep going. And that's a mess over there. Ah, some more divan mold. Let's take her down. Okay. And these little guys. These are tough, man. Okay. Okay, and there's an attic bat. Okay, and there's another attic bat. Great. Now, there we go. Okay. Over here, maybe? Anything in here? Tiny key. I'm sorry, but that key, it's not very tiny. Is there a large key? Well, that's interesting looking. Okay. Now, I know I saw, yeah, a manor sentry. Cool. There's the ivy door. Oops. What did I do? Oh, I don't know. Ivy door. Can I go in there? Oh, is that what the green key is for? Okay. Nope. Stop it. Manor Claviger. Here, let's... Okay. Fine. Red Hall. Alright. Let's take her down. Okay, this one's not going to be an easy one. Okay. Alright. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Nope, you're not getting me, lady. Aha. Okay. Green key. There we go. Green key. There we go. And then there's a yellow key. Okay, treasure coffer. A mana field dressing. Okay. Well, looks like there's some other stuff over here. Like, these guys. Divano, divano. Little mushroom guys. Divano, divano. Little mushroom guys. Can I get into the ivy door? I don't know. Alright, let's, And then there's a locked door. Alright, let's try the locked door. Yes. The sealed door opens. Is there anything for me? Oh, the Wells Fargo train is coming, coming down the street. I hope there's something special there for me. I guess that's the special thing for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo train is coming, coming down the street. I hope there's something special there for me. Can I do something with the ivy door? Unlock the ivy door. Okay. So I can go... Oh, there's a tiny key. Cellarage. Oh, dear. A mana servitor. Yeah. There, corpse flies. I'll take care of those guys. There we go. Now it'll let me do something. Huh. Alright, let's get another tiny key. Tiny key! That looks really big. Okay. I have obtained a tiny key. And there's some places I can go downstairs. There's a carnation door. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll go this way. I am so far from her. You know, I have to agree. This is kind of fun. This particular one. Oh, corpse fly. There we go. I think this, you know, like the other dungeons, like they feel more like just, you know, underground, you know, what have yous. But this feels kind of special. Treasure coffer, yay! A manor half gloves, cool, cool. Alright, and there is an ad starting soon. Wait, was there... Oh no, that's just for the carnation door. Okay. And it looks like there's somebody in here. Yes. For our tiny key, at least. No, out of my way. And there we go. And there's another... Oh, there's a lot of keys. This place is kind of funny with these keys. Yes, there we go. Thank you. In there? Yep. There's some friendly friends to attack. No. I just realized I probably should just be looking at the map in the corner. Okay. Corpse. No. Attic bat. Come on. No. There we go. One thing I don't like about this dungeon is that it's sometimes hard to see what I'm fighting. Okay, so let's see. Yes. Some more enemies. More dancing skeletons. You know what I realized? I didn't watch it either at either Halloween or Christmas. I did not watch The Nightmare Before Christmas this year. How dare I? Now, Panda made me watch Die Hard. Or actually, no, he didn't really make me. I was like, oh, let's just watch it. Because I still can't remember if I had actually watched it or not years ago. But, yeah. I think it counts as a Christmas movie. Why not, you know? Had Christmas music, Christmas decorations, took place during a Christmas party. Okay, let's see. Locked door. Yes. Treasure coffer. Manor breaches. Okay. And nothing else is in here. Another locked door. Yes. These manor servitors are reminding me of the I guess it's a Disney animated short with the skeletons dancing. I think that one's Disney. That's now in public domain. No. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm getting me my yellow key there. Bloody parchment. Okay. Can I climb up there? I can. And there's something going on over here. There we go. And I'm sorry, this time through, since it's kind of it seems like kind of an elaborate dungeon, I know I'm not really stopping very well for the ad breaks, and I apologize. It just feels like, you know, there's a time limit on this here. So, at least, I'm sure I can get through it in 60 minutes, but... Alright, so, Carnation Door. Unlock. Okay. Alright, well, let's go. There's a Manor Jester. Why is it not registering? There we go. No, there's a change in the music. You know, I think people underestimate how valuable music is for a game or a movie. There was that one movie, The New World, I think it was, and they had no music in it. And it really made for a very different feel for the movie because it didn't have music. And I think the point was it not having music because it was supposed to feel, you know, you're supposed to feel like you were in the natural environment of the film. I thought that was really an interesting choice because a lot of times music is used in film to evoke certain feelings. I love how they're all pretty much fighting the steward and I'm after the jester. Leveled up. Let's get a treasure. Okay, and what is that thing? It is nothing. Okay. Bloody parchment. And ethereal flow. Okay. Should I enter the ethereal flow? Probably. You know, it looks like I'm doing everything in order, so yes. It brings me back upstairs. And the barrier's still sealed. Okay, so I know there was a part over here somewhere. Oh, I thought I heard a sound. So I didn't go through to the other side. No, no, no. Oh, wait. Where is that spot that I... Okay, so... It was not that way. I love how I keep hearing sounds. Oh, maybe this is just the other side of that area, the Red Hall. Was there anything else down here? No, this is where I found a chest, I believe. Now, is there another... Okay. Nope. Yeah, okay. I am gonna go back through this way. I think all I need to do is go upstairs and defeat Lady Amandine, but... Okay. I guess that's it then. Let's go upstairs and defeat Lady Amandine. Amandine. How do I unseal the barrier? Yes. Read from the bloody parchment. Okay. Attack hounds. There we go. It's funny, like, I find whenever I'm in one of these situations in this game, I get really quiet. I'm like, I have to pay attention. Servitor's lantern. Okay. There's a locked door. Yes. Use a tiny key. I don't even have to enter the room. I feel like the enemies in this one are particularly tough, or maybe it's because I'm playing with NPCs, so they're not as strong. Okay. Alright, there's another one over there. Nope. Oh, okay, it's done. Wonderful. Let's get some treasure. Heart of House Darlend. Okay. Yeah. Do we go down? Here, let's see what happens. Oh, no. Oh, what happened? Interesting. I guess I just injured myself. Okay. Upstairs again! Up the grand staircase. Alright, so the holes in the floor are nothing special. They're just holes in the floor. That is good to know. Oh, hey, Giva, how you doing? Manor Sentry? Oh, we're gonna take you down. I hope you're doing well, Giva. Four hours of sleep last night, so you're a zombie. Oh, that's the worst. That happens to me sometimes on work nights. My work days are so long at the doctor's office. Ah, nice. Sometimes I'm just too tired to, wait, I guess we're supposed to follow it? Ooh. Right here. She's so pretty. Why is she so worried about not being pretty when she's pretty? Okay. Alright, wait. Is there anything else over here? No. Alright, I guess it's time to fight Big Lady, Amandine. And there we go. Oh, she's gonna take some time. Cool room. Can I put her to sleep? What is she doing? Oh, she's producing more side monsters, I guess. Interesting. Oh, wait, what? Seduced? Oh, that was interesting. That was really interesting. Okay. I don't think we can avoid that. Ugh. Okay. Like, you can't avoid that bit at all unless you leave the room. Okay, so Void Call brings on... Okay. Brings on another monster. Oh, it's the seduce thing again. No, no, no. How interesting is that? Okay. Almost there. Almost there. Yes. Well, that was interesting. Yay. We did it. Okay, and there's the treasure. Nice. Okay. And then... Alright. It was solo, so I don't have to... Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Darkness has taken root within these halls. Sprung from the most unlikely of seeds. one cannot help but admire the irrepressible spirit that quickened it to life. It is a pleasure to meet you at last, adventurer. You are every bit as intriguing as our master gave us to believe. It is no ordinary mortal who can acquire one crystal of light, much less 3. The crystals make you strong, and it is to that strength that the light is drawn. Heidelin chose well. A pity that your existence is irreconcilable with our own. We cannot well allow you to continue upon your present course. Alas, we came here not to play, but to take the measure of your strength for Master La Habria. The task is now accomplished. We take our leave of you. Okay. Fare you well, bringer of light. Interesting. Okay, well that was interesting. And it's nighttime. Report to Ursendel. Okay, Ursendel is where? Okay, let's just go. Okay. Ursendel is where? Up there. The knot. The cannot. Okay. Where is this? Nope. Over here, I guess. No. Can I exit this way? I cannot. Ah! Everything seems to be in order today. Cool. Alright. Maybe I should... Yeah. No. Pay attention, me. Oh, this is what I did last time, isn't it? Yeah, and there's the... Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is that? Surecast. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So I'm wondering, like, what are everybody's thoughts about games that require a lot of grinding to, like, level up in order to fight bosses? For me, as long as there's a lot of story attached, it's not so bad. But I've played games where I've had to do a lot of grinding, and it's just like, yeah, I feel like the grinding needs to feel like it pays off well. You are returned? What sights have awaited you within the manor? What has become of Lady Amandine? You must tell me all. She's no more, dude. Yeah, I think there has to be a balance with grinding in games. I agree, Panda. There just can't be too much of it because it takes away from I don't know. A part of it feels like lazy game writing to me, if there's too much of it. So she went so far as to consort with devils. Oh, would that I could have done more to prevent her for her fall. May she finally find peace in the beyond. I know not whether the masked men you encountered are the same pair that first led my lady astray, but it is plain that they are of the same vile brood. Should the chance ever present itself, promise me that you will visit upon them tenfold the woe they have brought upon others. But who am I to speak of punishment? By my silence I allowed I know not how many innocent young women to die of unspeakable circumstances. It matters not wherefore. Through misplaced loyalty, cowardice, or both, I am an abettor to a gross crime. I will surrender myself to the authorities and accept whatever punishment they deem just. I only pray that the gods will have mercy on my soul. If you look at a lot of old school games that require grinding, it almost unnaturally pads out the game length. Phantasy Star 2 is one of the worst games I've ever played for money grinding. Yeah, like a few years ago, I was playing the first Witcher game, and I like the Witcher games, but I got to a point in the game where I had to do a lot of grinding, and it just felt kind of futile. Like it kind of made me step back from it. I don't know. I have some. Yeah, you have to balance it out with enough story so that the grinding feels worth it. Alright. Report to Minfilia. We're going all the way back to Minfilia. Okay, let's go to Thanland. I know where we're going. There we go. Okay. Here. Chocobo. We are heading this way. I think. Yes. Kaboing! Yeah, I guess grinding has to have a certain amount of payoff. Like, you don't want to have so much grinding that the player is constantly just coming up against the same enemies again and again and again and again. Like, after a while, that gets really dull. Yes. Yes, I will enter the solar. Okay. Alright, Minfilia. What's up, girly? With your questionable fashion taste. Oh yes, she's British. Let's see if I can do the accent again. Welcome back, Aspen. Full glad am I to see you safely returned. Tell me, how fared you on your sojourn to in the Twelves Wood? I'm not dead. 2 of La Habre's minions, and they sought to measure your strength by their own admission. The devils taunt us. It is beyond doubt, then, that Askians have begun to move in earnest. Would that we knew Would that we knew to what end. Yet I will not bemoan our plight. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we are at least aware of the encroaching darkness. Alas, we can only do so much. It is clear to me now that we Scions are too few to protect the realm against this threat unaided. We must needs alert the three nations to the presence of this elusive enemy, and recommend that they heighten their vigil. There's no shortage of misery in the world that the Askians might exploit. We have an arduous struggle ahead of us. Yet come what may, we must not allow ourselves to become lost to hope, for that is precisely what the enemy desires. We have gleaned all we can from the information available to us. Let us set this investigation aside for the present. Another matter has risen that requires your attention. Let me know when you are ready to be briefed, and I will summon the others. Quest complete! You can now accept the next class job. Okay. Wrath of the Titan. Okay. Minfilia is waiting to brief you and your fellow scions on a new development. Okay.
The Maelstrom requests our assistance.
Okay.
Concerning the kobolds they sent such copious notes on, I presume?
Yes. And no. It has more to do with their findings, which portend a peril far greater than any beast tribe.
What sort of peril?
The worst kind. A tribe of kobolds in the vicinity of Limsa Lominsa has reawakened Titan.
Limsa Lominsa?
Our task will be to slay the Primal. The Maelstrom have sworn support for the endeavor.
Okay.
They are no strangers to the havoc kobolds can wreak.
Years before the Grand Company's reformation, two primals, Leviathan and Titan, chanced to converge upon the sea wall, wreaking untold devastation. There, by the grace of the Navigator, were the mercenaries Merlvip hired able to fend them off. Yet it did not take long for the beast tribes to regroup, and they summoned their primals once more.
Thankfully, their second coming was decidedly short-lived, but that is beside the point. So long as tormented souls will them to exist, the realm will never be rid of primals.
The Maelstrom has kept a watchful eye upon the beast tribes, and the kobolds in particular, ever since. Which brings us to the matter at hand.
Unlike Ifrit, we know scarcely anything of Titan. Unfortunately, the only force known to have bested him, the modestly named Company of Heroes, disbanded 5 years since, and mercenaries are not in the habit of keeping chronicles.
Expect the worst. The Maelstrom's help is of course appreciated, but even if we had their whole armada at our disposal, we could still find ourselves overmatched. A pity the kobolds lack the gentle sensibility. The Echo will not avail you this time, I fear. If you are to survive, your steel must needs speak for you. No one would think you a coward were you to decline.
I'm not declining.
So you will accept?
Yes. Nod your head.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can't very well send her to Limsa Lominsa without Y'shtola. Can we, Minfilia?
Y'shtola. Y'shtola.
May I ask that of you, Y'shtola?
I never thought it in question.
Yeah, obviously.
Ever reliable. Very well. We will spare no effort to win victory.
Yay, victory!
You may count on the full support of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Cool, cool.
And all not afield will aid the fight from afar. Thancred, Ida, go to the Grand Companies. Tell them of our plight and solicit their support.
Okay.
Urianger, send word to the students of Baldessian, and Alfino if you would.
Alfino.
Papalimo, compile all the information we have on Titan, little though it may be.
Papalimo.
You will be apprised of the tactical situation when you reach the sailor's ward. Provision yourself for the journey. May you walk in the light of the crystal.
Okay. All right. Speak of Hashat Riki, who's in Lanoska. Okay. It said something about. Here, let's. I want to go back to Limsa Lominsa and check something. Okay. There we go. I want to go back to the Arcana Skilled. I'd like to check something there. Lola la Lola. Oh, Chimkin Nugget. I feel like I've seen that Chimkin Nugget person before. Are there any tasks for me? Bookwyrm, what is the task? Fairy tale come true. SCH. Require question. Okay. Interesting. Alright. Where do I want to go? Wait. Okay, it said... Wait. Brock Wagoner. I love the names people choose for themselves. Elder Devil. Okay. Mesa Belou. Gail Gelson. Goddess of the Land, Chisai Obasan. Am I think I'm going the right way. Here, let me see if I need to go up first. The upper decks. Right. The Maelstrom. Slay the Perma-Titan. Report to High Storm Commander at Maelstrom Command. Where is Maelstrom Command? There we go. The Heavy Festival. There we go, I think. Sarah Andre. Pretty dress. All right. Hail, adventurer, and welcome to Maelstrom Command. If you wish to know more about enlisting, speak with the personnel officer. Unless you are the guest we were told to expect. Forgive me, madam. To business, then. It is as we told the antecedent. The kobolds have once again summoned Titan. A little over a moon ago, we began to observe the beastmen moving south in increasing numbers from Ogomoro. Our scouts subsequently confirmed the object of their aggression. Crystals, fodder for their fell primal. Oh, look who it is. Thank you, High Commander. You may leave the rest to me. Word has spread of your accomplishments, Aspen. On behalf of Limsa Lominsa, I thank you for heeding our call. Forgive the lack of forewarning, High Commander. The Admiral wished to address Aspen personally. We are no strangers to conflict. Long have the Sahagin and the kobolds plagued our people. Nor is this the first time we have had to address a primal threat. In the past, when Titan rose to threaten the peace, it was to the company of heroes we turned. But they are long disbanded, and we must look to other brave souls, blessed with the strength to face this foe. So it is that we return now to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, confident in the belief that you are Limsa's best hope. I hope you are right. The situation is far from simple. The kobolds are not prone to unprovoked aggression. Do not the thalassocracy make a pact with the beastmen, that each would keep to their own lands, and that no blood would be shed? And was it not the Lominsons who violated this agreement, dissatisfied with their lot? Shall we then condemn the beastmen for defending their homes? Even a pirate must one day reap what she has sown. I would advise you to choose your words with greater care, Lady Y'shtola. Stand down, High Commander. She has the right of it. And the wrong is mine. Freely do I claim it. Yet it makes little difference. Remorse will not shield us from Titan's wrath. Or would you have us fall upon our swords? My apologies, Admiral. The safety and security of Limsa Lominsa's citizenry are, of course, of paramount concern. Already we have observed disruptions in the flow of ether further inland. The effects will be felt here in the city ere long. I ask much of you, I know, but the need is great. Can I count on your help, Aspen? Yes. You have my thanks, along with the full support of the Maelstrom. I await good tidings. That the kobolds should summon Titan demonstrates they are no longer amenable to negotiation. And this being the case, we must needs prepare for conflict. Before we meet Titan in the field, however, it would be wise to learn all we can of our foe. And I can think of no better source of information than the mercenaries who defeated him once before. And the company of heroes may be no more, but several of its former members still live. It is said that one of them is employed at the Grey Fleet Mills in Lower Lenoska. Lenoska? I always struggle with the names in this game. Quite why a mercenary should choose to become a miller, I do not know. When you find him, mayhap you can ask him for me. I, meanwhile, shall seek his fellows. Okay, speak with Trachturn. And that is where? Mist? What is mist? Okay. So, I need to get there. Morbe Dry Docks, Costa del Sol. Okay, this one might be closer. Ah, yes, it's the beachy place. Okay. Chocobo. I think I need you. Here, I'll move back. Wait, what was that little creature over there? Apkalu, those are cute. And we're gonna hit it now. Lower Lenoska. What is that over here? Oh my. Very cool. Wait. Oh, here we go. Yes. Ishtola. Lay down your burden, son, come drain a pint with me. We'll have a grand old time, find ye a lass or three. You gonna say something, Venture? Or just keep staring? Eh? You want to know about the company of heroes? Oh, hell's price of bleeding fame. Can't a miller mill in peace no more? Now, seeing as you've come all this way, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to oblige you. Consider yourself lucky, lass. Old Trachturn was the company's best axeman. Now, what was it you wanted to know? Wrath of the Titan. Just the way the carbuncle moves makes me uncomfortable sometimes. Okay, let's see. Let's speak further to this Traktum dude. Traktum is eager to regale you with stories of his glory days. Gahaha! So you want to hear the tale of how the company of heroes bested a primal, do ya? I do not know it. You know, some characters in this game have just the most questionable outfits. Let me guess. You mean that bastard Titus, eh? Oh, if only you'd been there to see it. 'Twas a mighty struggle like the legends of old. Me and the boys fought him for 3 days and nights, we did. The ground trembled with every step Titus took. And when he hit you, girl, it felt like a cannonball to the gut. Ugh. Just like that. Oi, what's that look for? I'm a goddamn hero, I'll have you know. People around here sing me praises. Don't tell me you only care about learning the secret tactics we used to beat old Titus. Well, too bad. Because now I'm not feeling charitable. So if you're damn desperate, then why don't you do me a favor and kill these rats that have made a nest by the windmill just south of here? Aye, do that, then we'll talk. Okay, so I have to kill some rats. Okay. I guess so. I killed a lady in a castle, and now you're making me kill rats, Who's this little guy? I claim this bed in the name of me. You know what? That's relatable. So relatable. How about this person? Oh, NPC, what hath you say? Yes, you sayeth nothing. Okay, let's go find the rat's nest. I'm sorry, Miller. In need, I have a task. Tiny mandragoras. They are so tiny. Oh, there we go. Rat's nest. Rat King. Yeah, whatever, little rat. Alright. What about the wind sprite? Got your rats for ya. Eh? So the beasties are dead, are they? Nice work, Venturer. Save me the hassle of... never mind. Yeah, cool. Track tomb appears to be ignoring you. What? You still asking how we beat Titus? I didn't know, Venture. It was a pretty risky strategy, the kind only a veteran of 10 score battles could rely upon. I want to teach you. I truly do. But unless you prove to you have what it takes to face that fat bastard, I can't in good conscience tell you a damn thing. At the very least, you'd need to be capable of slaying, say, a Guboo. Come to think of it, that ain't a bad idea. Them creatures have a taste for the flour milled here, so you ought to have no trouble finding one in the vicinity. Of course, I ain't asking you to cut one down quick as a skilled axeman like myself. Any road, why don't you try heading west and stand and look out case a Guboo comes calling. Slay it, and I might consider telling you more about old Titus. Okay, so, I will say this. I've only ever played the first and this Final Fantasy game. I've only ever played old school Final Fantasy. And this one. I know the name Titus. I just don't know who Titus is. Oh my. That looks like a disaster. Okay. Oh dear. These Guboos just look so Ghibli to me. Okay. Got your Gaboo. What are you gonna do to me now? What are your expectations, oh great one? Eh? You again? And then that Gaboo wasn't harassing the Millers, then that Gaboo that was harassing the Millers is dead? Didn't think you had it in you, adventurer. Still, you took forever and a day to get the job done. I'm still not sure if I should tell you our secrets. Nope. Maybe. Nope. Complete. Oh, I should check to see. Wait. Recommended gear. Equip. And there we go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, I'm back in that outfit though. That's interesting. Okay. Alright. I think the ad is gonna start soon. So, what are you doing, puppy? What are you doing? Too bad. Can we, like, pet the pup? Puppy? Can I rub your belly? Emote? Pet. I can! Wait, he went that way, though. Pet. Okay. Grab a staff if you need one. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Right back. I just need some more water. Okay. Alrighty. Let us continue. I'm probably not going to continue for too much longer. I can feel my throat starting to get a little puffy. Alright, so let's talk to this guy again. Tractum remains unconvinced of your readiness to defeat the dread primal Titus. As I was saying, I still don't know if you got what it takes to face Titus. Maybe if you slew, what is on his cheek? Is that like a little creature, like, holding its shell? That is an interesting tattoo there. Tractum, you here in here drinking again? If you are, that Gobu had better be dead. Oh, it's dead, Chief. You have me word on that. Cleave the beast's skull in two with my trusty axe, I did. Ah! No, I did that, thank you. Is that a fact? And what will your friend here say if I ask her? She'll vouch for me, of course. Ain't that right, friend? Tell me true. Was it Tractum who slew the Gobu? Or was it you? Chief, what are you saying here? It's me, Tractum, the finest axeman ever to serve in the company of heroes, the legendary mercenaries who slew that bastard Titus. Titus? Titus? Who in the Seven Hells is Titus? Some primal you fought in a drink-sodden dream? The company of heroes slew Titan, you bloody half-wit. Well, see, Titus is what me and the lads used to call him. That's the biggest load of Sahagin shite I've ever heard. Both of you outside. We'll learn the truth the Lominson way. Tractum, if you don't slay that Gobu, you may consider your contract revoked. Look at him. He's like, what? I have to do things? Speak with the miller. Tractum, you're kind of an idiot. They call me a working man, I reckon that's what I am. Drinking under the chief's nose, sneaking out the back door, and nobody'll ever know. Oh, come on, pup. Let's let him just wallow in his drunkenness. Okay. Duty calls. Yes. Let us proceed. Destroy the large boulder. Okay. I think I'm doing better than he is. Feeling a bit stiff by any chance? Only killing's against the rules. He's just waiting for his bomb to go off. Oh dear. Alright, I admit it. I lied about being in the company of heroes. But I'm begging you, Chief, please don't dismiss me. I've learned my lesson. Honest, I have. Save your blubbering tractum. Gods, I should have known. Mercy, please. I didn't want to deceive you, I swear. It's just that I kept getting turned away by all the folk I asked for work, and I panicked. See, the last job I had was at Costa del Sol, and there was this grizzled marauder everyone treated like royalty. When I heard he was a captain in the company of heroes, I finally understood why. I was being so serious when I said I was one of them. But you wouldn't believe me, so I... Look. His name is Whiskett, alright? Whiskett. He'll tell you how to defeat Titus, or whatever the hell's that thing's name is. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So come on then. Tell the chief to forgive me. It's only fair. Dude, I'm not sure that's... okay. Alright. Speak with Wastecat in Costa del Sol. Costa del Sol is there. Oh, so back where we were. Nice, I guess. Okay. Where are we going? No, I don't want to do a fate. Leave me alone. Around the fate. No! Oh, fine. Oh my gosh, why are there so many of them? There's a lot of them. He's a fraud. Yeah. It's so Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got too distracted to think about him being a fraud. Okay. Anyway, let's go back. Here, wait. Let me think. Costa del Sol. Dancing in the moonlight. Okay, so I need to be going that way. Ah, there's Lise Kate. See, his outfit's much better. He looks a little more dignified, at least. Pardon? You wish to slay the Lord of Crags? We must slay him, Captain. The people of Limsa are depending upon us. You fancy yourselves heroes, then, just like in the tales. Be not so quick to judge. Long have I labored for the well-being of you and yours, and my associate here has bathed in Ifrit's hellfire and lived. She is blessed with a power that protects her from primal influence. Thus was she able to lay low the Lord of the Inferno. We know full well the risks, and have taken every possible precaution. We lack only the knowledge of how to enter Titan's lair. Pray be so good as to grant us the boon of your wisdom, and we shall be on our way. A woman who can't be tempered? Useful. But it will not be enough. It is true that the company of heroes fought and felled primals, but each victory was brought with the lifeblood of brave men and women. And Titan was the worst we faced. Aye, we defeated him in the end, but he took from us some of our very best. Even if you possess the power you claim, I have no reason to believe you will succeed. Believe what you will, we mean to try. Though our lives be forfeit, we will not abandon Limsa to the wrath of Titan. You are passionate. I'll grant you that. And you deserved better than the greeting I gave you. But I will not send you into Ogomoro on a whim. To be plain, I do not wish to see you give your lives in vain. At the very least, I must have assurances that you are more than common adventurers. I oversee security for Master Gegaruju's estate. Perhaps you can demonstrate your abilities by attending to one of our... Good gods, man, have you heard nothing I've said? We have not the time to perform trivial tasks. The enemy is at the gates. Do you imagine words can sway me, girl? If you dislike my conditions, then you're welcome to find your own way into Ogomoro. Oh. Hand off the mouse. Yet, much remains to be done if we are to best Titan. Forgive me, but I must ask you to undertake this task alone. I will use the time to see to the remaining preparations. Leaving the dirty work to others, are we? Very well. Pray do whatever the good captain bids, however trifling. Remember, the fate of Limsa hangs in the balance. Okay. Alright. Yeah, my throat's actually starting to go, so I am going to sign off for the night. Let's stop here. Exit game. Alright. So that was fun. Actually, that last little bit was kind of fun. Here, let's switch to just chatting. And let me, here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So, let's see. Oh my gosh, I hope nothing interrupts me again from playing Okami on Sunday. Yeah, I need more trouble. Like, I need a second head. That would be really frustrating. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully I'll be playing Okami on Sunday. Yeah, I don't know what I have planned for the following week yet. Still kind of thinking about it. I have some games that I feel like I need to kind of finish up a little bit. I'm going to take a look at what I have. I might do something a little new or different next week. I am not sure, but we'll see. And I'm still kind of slowly but surely catching up on past uploading my VODs to YouTube. I've been kind of behind on that. Sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for just being tired. Anyway, I hope everybody has a really good night, or day, or morning, and I just realized my music is not on. Interesting. Okay. Well, yes, please have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys on Sunday at 2 Eastern Time. And have a lovely evening. Let me see who is on. There's usually a bunch of people on Twitch on Friday nights, so it's a little easier to find somebody to raid. Let's see. Oh, okay. We should raid Circe. Let's do that. Okay. Raid. There we go. This looks interesting. Okay. So have a wonderful evening. Bye, everybody. Take care. See you soon. Bye.